Your next stop is your success. And clear negative eyes, please.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. This Friday. Yeah, the Friday is awesome. The gremlins were out.
What's up, LinkedIn?
LinkedIn. We actually sent the gremlin on the subway. It's getting some nice Cubanos for us.
Paul was like, the girl doesn't want to let go. Fuljens is trying to reason with it. Stand by.
Hello, Sammy.
What's up, Sammy man?
Ooh, I like that poll. Look at how it looks. We're gonna talk about circles, squares, triangles.
What's up, Tatiana? Feeling this beat today.
Yes. The gremlin over there didn't like it. The gremlin was like, no. We're like, yes. We're like, okay. Hello, Johnny. Samantha. We were excited about the new.
10 seconds.
Yes. This is the way. Like this is a waiting screen.
3. Let's go into leave it playing a little bit and just fade it on out.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. We have a great show for you today because just in case those of you who did not know that Ecamm Live not only allows us to create amazing broadcasts and pre-recorded content as well as podcasts, but we can also design incredible professional looking lower thirds.
Yes.
Waiting screens and camera overlays. And we're going to go over some of the new features that are coming up on Ecamm Live 4.0, which are available in the beta version right now.
Yeah, and if you do not have the current beta version of Ecamm Live 4.0 beta, download it today at ecamm.com/beta. That's ecamm.com/beta.
Yes, because what we're going to be working on today is on beta right now. So it's going to show you what is coming up, but also if the design that we're going to work on today, we're going to have it available on our Buy Me a Coffee.
Yeah.
And we had it available last time on the interview mode, and it actually kept Paul, our amazing moderator, tested it out, and
Yeah.
it kept on the regular, on
In the native version.
on
so
the 3.9
It works
version.
on both versions, yes.
Yeah, so let's see. So let's see what happens. So you're going to learn all of that with us. As always, if you have any questions as we go through, please feel free to write it in the comment by Q colon.
Oh, I got to pull this up. Q : space helps us find your question.
Yes, and then
Awesome.
we'll get back to you.
Yes.
Okay, so Marcello, hello.
What's
Paul Dixon.
up?
hello.
What's up? Good to see you both here. Oh, wait.
Yes, Marcello, is amazing. You will see how easy it is and how impressive it is to create inside of Ecamm Live.
Absolutely.
You don't need any additional apps to create it, and which is the most incredible thing about designing inside of Ecamm Live.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned for all
Yes,
of that.
and then also too, we have a inquiry from Valerie, which we'll address, and also an inquiry from Martin McKenna over on the Europe side. So we'll address that as well later on.
That's right. Okay, Mr. Fuljens, let's do this.
Let's do this. So first, do we want to show the one that we currently have available?
Yes.
Right? All right. So this overlay here, we have available for free at our buymeacoffee.com/Anna and Fuljens. And if you notice on the left side of your screen, how we have, it's two circles layered over each other and they're pushed towards past the screen, right? You currently cannot do this in the native version of Ecamm 3.9. This is a beta feature, and thank you to the awesome developers for allowing us to be able to manipulate the shapes even much better than they were being manipulated before. So that's what we're going to go into now. So there's several shapes that can do this, such as triangles. But the circles,
triangles got even better now.
The triangles are better now,
Yeah.
and the circles, now you can do stuff like this, and not only the wingdings, but the emojis as well.
Yes. So here's what we can do. So let's hide the camera so that they could see the design itself. So this is the design itself, and as Fuljens was saying, there are two circles there, and then a background, which all of this, including the elements to the upper right corner, were designed inside of Ecamm. So upper right corner, left corner were designed inside of Ecamm using the Emoji Keyboard, and then in there you have the pictograms, you have all the your wingdings that are what allows you to change the colors and things like that. So we're gonna go over that today.
Yes. So let's start off with a blank scene.
Oh, Johnny is watching watching us on the big screen.
On the big screen. That's what's up. And we'll go into live demo mode now. All right. And let's pull up our text overlay panel. We can do Command N to pull it up the shortcut way. I love how the beta in the chat window here underneath Johnny, add a comment to destinations, so we can add it to our YouTube destinations there. That's so awesome. Did not know that. So we're gonna bring over the text overlay panel here. And so I love Anna's shortcut for pulling up the emoji keyboard. So we're gonna do that, right? It is Function E, correct? Yes, Function E.
And Paul was saying that it like sometimes it doesn't. I believe that's what Paul says. Sometimes it doesn't pull it for everybody, so maybe you have to check in the controls. But
like an accessibility feature, right? So on our end, Function E brings up the character viewer, and we are gonna. So which shape are we starting off with?
So let's start with a infamous circle.
We're gonna start off with the infamous circle, y'all. All right. Thank you all you guys for joining us today on Building Blocks. Thank you. So we're going to search for circle, and we just activated this amazing smooth.
Well, smooth, but you just like
It's so smooth.
Okay.
Like the smooth zoom.
Go for
And then
it.
we're going to type circle. All right, and then let's zoom back out. All right. So let's address this right now. We don't want to use the emoji circles, right? We're looking for the wingding circle.
Right. And the reason why we don't want to use the emoji circles is because it doesn't allow you to manipulate it. Right? So it is a yellow, red, blue, whatever, that's it. That's all you get. Plus it has a shade, all of that, right? So you need just plain one wingdings, that's it, right? Which is usually on your pictograph. So if you don't have that installed, you need to install it. And it's already on your, when you pull up the Emoji Keyboard, this side right here, so Fuljens, let me get this. So this side right here will show up. But these pictographs, these right here, those are the ones that will ask you, do you need to install? Like, do you want to install these? And then you say yes. At that point, you will get the rainbow window, the beach ball, because it is behind the Ecamm window, right? So you just have to minimize the Ecamm window, go there and click yes, download, and you should have all of this. So that's the one prerequisite.
I think that's one of the main issues some people are having. And when it's giving you the beach ball, it is literally hiding behind your program window. So, you might have to move some windows around to access it.
Okay, so yeah.
All right, cool. So let's go back to circle. We have circle here. So we entered circle in the search, and then we went here. So it might look different, as you mentioned earlier, before we went live on everyone's keyboard. But right now we have it. If you go past the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? And then you have this circle here with these what's called circle with vertical fills, basically these vertical lines. And this is the one that we want right after it, right before you have the half circles here. It's called black circle.
So it might look different for you, but if you are following along with us and you have Ecamm Live open, go ahead, please, and search for circle and see if you see it. See if you have to download the pictographs or if you already have it. And let us know in the comments if you have it or not.
Yes. All right. So we're going to select this one. So we double click it. And then when we double click it, it brings it to our, it should bring it over here to our text overlay panel. There it is. You can't see it right now because it's black. So we're
You
gonna.
like designing in black, you know.
Listen. This is not my Mac right here, so I don't know
Yeah,
who's
but
last.
you were.
Who was last using black
were
here?
doing that.
I don't know. I'm not taking a fall for this one. So we're gonna change it to white.
snap.
And then the thing is, like, you want to make sure you use the wingdings because the wingdings you can manipulate the colors, whereas the emojis themselves you cannot do that. Also, okay. And so in this case, we're using white for now. And we're gonna add that.
And that's it.
Right.
And
No, you go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
No,
because
that
I
you can
was gonna
just
make a
stretch it
comment
now.
about that. Yeah. So before, if you guys notice, right, look at the dead pixel space above the circle and below the circle, right? So in the 4.0, the 3.9, the current Ecamm build, this will not allow you to go past like the borders of the screen, right? But now you're able to go past like so, right? And it can get even bigger than that, right? And then there's a certain limit, but it goes pretty far, right? Because we're still going, we're still
Right.
going,
Look at that.
we're
Yeah.
still going, we're still going. And how about if we go the opposite direction? If we go up,
it should be. It should work as well. So let's
do
try
that.
it.
So let's zoom out and try that.
Just and bring it.
Zoom out for a little bit.
Oh.
So we can see our heads. All right. So let's go up here this way. Okay, so it stops. It stops here.
It should. Let's say something. Like, where does it keep?
Yeah.
Because it should work
That stops.
also.
But if you down there, it works just fine. And then if you go to the left and right of your screen, it should work. Whereas
Wait, can you
in the
clean the interface for me, please?
yeah, sure.
Oh, actually.
Whereas in the current build of Ecamm, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess that's as small as it gets.
For up there, yeah.
So if from here it does go
To a certain extent, it does. And that's how we're able to design the free overlay that we have available in the Buy Me a Coffee.
So that's as far as it goes. Okay, so there it is for circles.
Yeah. And then
So
the same
that's the
goes for the
limit.
right side of the screen. And then below, as you saw below, you can get really flexible below there.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
There.
Well, yeah, just block, yeah.
Yeah,
go
just
ahead.
like you.
Just block Fuljens. There you go.
like you. I'm like just trying to see if it would just like for some reason. All right,
Yeah.
that's it. That's it.
So, I mean, I'll take
But
it.
we have to ask though. Like I will ask why that's a limitation up.
Right.
Yeah.
And then maybe that's something that we do have to report to Ken and Glen.
Yeah.
And see if they can actually give more flexibility up there.
Mm-hmm.
But as you can see, you can go all the way down. And this is something that we're also trying to do with, for example, let's open up the text overlay panel again. And now this time we're going to bring in an emoji. We're going to bring the nerd emoji, right? Same thing with this. This one actually has flexibility, so play around with them.
Right. So I wonder if we use another circle with different fonts, which is what we were saying. When you get the circle to the right after you select a circle, you will get a variation of circles or shapes depending on the font that you have installed in your system. So perhaps if we find a different circle, it could go or even restore to default.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a few things. We're going to do, as Anna mentioned, let's go back and find that black circle, which should be this one here because it's recently frequently used and recently used. And then we're going to do here. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go to restore default style. And when you restore default style, it automatically defaults with a background. So uncheck the background, uncheck the effect, and let's add this now and see if it makes any difference. No.
No,
Okay,
not for this
so
one. But
this-
we kept the same font though.
Yeah.
We kept the same circle.
Yeah.
Right?
We did. We did.
So,
So that's
okay.
the limitations right now. But as you can see with the nerd emoji, you're able to move around freely.
Okay, wait a second. Let me see if Paul said found the
Yes.
circle. Yes. Yes.
All right. Perfect.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Okay,
So
good.
Paul, do share in the comments if you just did what we suggested here or if you tried something else to find the circle.
Yes.
All right, the circle has been found.
If Paul finds it, so can you. All
Okay,
right.
so let's continue.
We're looking for another circle to see if we can manipulate it much better.
We could, or we can just stay with this because now they get the point of
Yeah.
the circle. So we can continue designing something else, perhaps with a
We weren't able to do that with squares.
right.
Yeah, squares and rectangles definitely that was a hassle. So let's look for a rectangle.
Yeah, and also Martin, one of our Ecamm fan members, designed a really cool screen
Yes.
using triangles and circles.
Yes.
That it was really nice.
Really, really good. And Martin has a question about how to he wants to step out of his Keynote comfort zone and manipulate text overlays inside the Ecamm to create rectangles. So we're going to
Yes.
cover that. I love how he put that. I love how he put that.
Okay, let's do it. So
all right,
Paul,
so-
follow the instructions. Okay, Paul.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
And also too, like if you want, like, if you're gonna use this a lot, you could keep this open at all times, you know, and move it to another screen or something like that. All right, so we're gonna bring in this rectangle. Let's see how much manipulation we have with this. Before we do that, let's just do restore default style and uncheck the background and uncheck the shadow, and let's see how far we can get with this. Right?
I wonder
We
what
can move
font
this.
that
We
is.
can move this in the corner right now. Oh, this is black rectangle. The circle is black circle. This one is black rectangle.
So if you click on the rest of the rectangles on font variation, let's see if we get a different name. Right here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna trying to expand this a little bit, unless it doesn't let me.
I sequester the expanding feature. Let me tell you, because you like expanding too much. All right, let's see.
No, well, there.
So Arial italic, right? So it will change. It will change. So if you want a slicker rectangle, you go for. So if you can see
right.
here,
This one I believe is currently Apple symbols, and then you have
andale mono.
the different
Yeah,
font
so
types,
it will
Arial.
so play around with them, because just like in font, for example, when you're designing and you have the same family font, for example, even though you're in the same family, you can have different variations of the same fonts, like thin, bold, medium, and that's how the rectangles, just as titles, will change your design. So play around with it as well.
Okay, so yeah, we definitely should let the team know about this, right? So as you notice here, the same thing. We can come down here, we can go to the left, we can go to the right, but up here we're kind of blocked. We're
Okay.
blocked. But with emojis, for some reason, right now the wingdings, we have this issue. But the Spanish came out. The wingdings. The wingdings are not helping us with that. So let's check out another emoji.
Yeah,
A
but
non face.
so let's quickly, how about let's quickly design a lower third, because that's the first thing that you need for your live streams, right? A lower third, whether it is for you or for you and your guests. So let's design a rectangle.
What's
Let's
up,
use rectangle because Martin wanted to know how to bring a box in, right?
Right.
So let's design it with a rectangle. So now there's this fancy, funky lower thirds where the box is bigger at the bottom, where you can add extra things to it, extra content to it, and then on the top you have the name. So we can do that as two rectangles, so two boxes.
So we're doing a wingding rectangle and a text overlay rectangle. Is that what you're referring to?
No, we're gonna use all text overlays.
All text
Yeah,
overlays.
all
right.
text overlays.
Okay, right. So so if you have any other questions about, taking the wingdings and be able to like move them across the screen, let us know. But that is the concept, right? So play around with them. So each of them has like certain limitations. As you see, emojis don't have that limitation, and you can create something like this, right? Okay, perfect. So now let's go and create. So Martin McKenna, this is for you. So we're going to go here, and this is how we do it, Martin, and everybody else watching. If you want to create a rectangle, for example, right? Best practice is, especially when it's a rectangle, we're going to start off by taking text and just typing simply rectangle. And if you want it even longer, just type long rectangle, right? Or long horizontal rectangle, for example, right? And then now we're adding the background to it. You can remove the corners.
Yes.
If you want, increase the margin, but you know, that's later on if you want some more manipulation. And then now we take the back first, before we take the background, we take the font, bring it to 0 opacity, and then now take the background color and change it. Right? So we have a rectangle. That's it. And then the thing is, like, the more text you add, the easier it is for you to manipulate this way.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. And then in addition to that, right, so Martin was using transparent rectangles, right? So there's a few ways you can do it. I like to do the shift key and the finger scroll to lower the transparency, right? So Martin's had some cool transparent rectangles like this. Also, you can go into the text overlay panel, click on background, and then under opacity here, it's set to 100. And let's bring it down. You could bring that to like maybe like 70, for example. So now you have like a fixed opacity. You know exactly what it's on. Boom. And it's as simple as that. That is like the best way, to create your rectangles.
Yeah. So for what I was suggesting for lower thirds, let's go back and make that rectangle smaller and see.
Right.
So for that, either it could happen. A couple of things could happen while you do this. So go ahead and do it.
Right. So the best way to shorten the length of this rectangle is to remove the text. So you just have it as rectangle, for example.
And because it's going to be on the top, just type top.
Top rectangle. Top rectangle. Let's bring the opacity back down.
Yep. And then, we can actually, go ahead and now see what happens.
And then now you can notice, like, you could see you could scale it down now because there's less lettering in there, right? So you have a smaller rectangle.
Right. And then, so that's actually kind of cool. Let's bring the opacity back up, please.
Yes.
And you,
Boom. And then boom. And also too, something that's really cool. If you notice here in the corner here, in the color picker, go here. Let's say you wanted to keep this. You like this color at 70%. You can actually take this and bring it into your color palette, right? So now you can, like, if you have another rectangle or something else that you want to assign the same opacity to and everything, you can just click on that. So that's a really cool shortcut.
Pretty cool tip, Mr. Fuljens.
Thank you, Ms. Hill. So let's bring the opacity back to 100 and save. All right, so we have a solid rectangle.
Right, so we're gonna put this rectangle up like that. And now let's create another rectangle. It's going to be the same height and the same length, but the box is going to be bigger. So we are actually gonna, so if you wanted to type more content than just the name, we can add it there.
So same width, but more like a more of a square.
Yeah, so we're gonna go down more. So it's,
Got it.
yeah.
All right, so let's create something brand new. And then this is going to be like, we could do bottom.
All right, so let's see. Let's move this over here so that they could see better. Because I see Marcello over there wanting to move things, and he's like, "Oh, it was actually on you." Okay, cool.
And then shift return to add a new line, bottom, square.
Go content.
Whatever.
And another thing that is very helpful, as you've seen here, we type the information that we typed on it is meaningful, right? It's the top rectangle or bottom rectangle. And if you're gonna have content or more words in it, you can make the exact amount of words. For example, I don't know, 20 characters, and then that will cover that for you.
Yep.
So this is what we're trying to, right? So then make it a little bit longer so that we can have more. I don't know if you, because I wasn't looking at. Yeah, just a little bit more down.
All right, cool. So let's do bottom square, and then down here, you could type something else, but it could probably be
lorem. You can take that from the web and then go lorem per diem or whatever it is that that text that they have on all the websites. They're like lorem.
It says bottom square overlay, so there we go.
Okay, here we go. And then we can move it top more. Hi, Richard.
Hello,
okay.
Richard.
So that is one of, we have seen it a lot of times. And one thing that we're not doing, that we're about to do right now, is create a folder and add them all in there. That's so important.
Yeah.
On ENN, on Ecamm Network News and Entertainment, we have so many layers, and all of the designs, if you follow ENN, all of the designs that we create there, which are very extensive, right? Because they're very intricate, are designed inside of Ecamm. We don't use any other app to design them,
Right.
but we have them in folders. And sometimes our guests comes in with their own, with their virtual camera, and they have their own graphics and things like that. So we have to take that information off, and it's so easy to go in and just toggle it off because of all the folders.
Yeah.
So we're going to create the folder right now.
Yes. And we got a little Slack going on here. So to create a folder, you can do one of two things. You can just add new folder here, right underneath the T, or we can do Shift Command N, and that'll create a new group like that. Boom. Right, and then this is going to be called lower third, or however you want to name it, and add these into here. What I like to do, because you want to differentiate the body of the lower third from the text, so you could type lower third body, for example, because you can have a separate group for the text that's going to go into the lower third. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's that. And then now that you have that, whenever you want to turn it on or off, you can do it. Another cool thing is that you can move it from the screen. At this point, we cannot scale yet together, but we could move it. So say you wanted to move this design to the any other place in your screen, you can toggle that, which Fuljens just showed, link it, and then now you will be able to move it around the screen. Amazing. It is just so great because this didn't happen before, before 3.9. This was 3.9 hit.
Yeah.
And so you can do that. And another thing is that you have to make sure that they are unlocked. The layers are unlocked so that you can move them. Once you're done and you have them in the place that you want to have them, you just turn those layers back and lock them.
Michael Hill. That's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
So there you have it. So if you want to create like a fill for your overlays,
and Michael, I actually read about that because I was like, that actually sounds like something meaningful, right? And I actually saw that. Thank you so much for putting it there.
And yes, thank you, Paul. We have an amazing group of
Morris,
hello, Tom.
hi.
Thank you, Paul. We have an amazing group of people here, and let's have this. You see this number over here? Like let's see the thumbs fly in while we're in demo mode. Like have the thumbs go up.
The thumbs go up, and okay. So
what's
here
going
we go.
on, Tom? Good to see you here. And man, Video Creator University has been absolutely awesome.
Oh, it has been for
Yes.
real. Let's make this bigger because so that we're on live demo mode and this is so small.
Yes.
Okay, so now that we have this, we can move it a little bit more out of the edge because sometimes it gets caught off.
Yeah.
So let's move it. Ecamm has this great.
This one here.
Yes. Yeah. Let's move it.
Right, because right now, as you can see, it's kind of like in the safe zone.
But let's move it a little bit, like yes, and then yes, that's it.
Yeah.
And that's that. And now you can have your name, and we can have that text. We can go to Google and get the lower of text, and then add it there. But that is how you can create lower third inside of Ecamm. Now you know the basics of it. These are just text overlays. We're not even doing emojis. We're not even using wingdings. We're just using text overlays right here.
Yes.
Okay. For the elements, the little dots and things like that we for like decoration, you can just use periods for that, right? If you want them to be fancier in the corners and things like that, then you go to the wingdings and just go on and you can change the colors.
Right, and then just so you know what Anna's referring to, if we go back to host +4, these up here, right? So if we hold down function key and clean this interface, yeah, right here. So right here in the corner, these are all dots, period. The period.
Those are dot period.
Dot periods. Dot periods. Yes.
So everyone, so far, do you have any questions about this? Any questions? Because then now we can, how do you like to call it? You're gonna jazz up. We can jazz this lower third up by now bringing in triangles, and perhaps adding a triangle to the corner, we can bring in circles, little tiny circles, and add them there. You can change your color, right?
Right.
So say we upload this design, or even the other one that we uploaded, the circle that Fuljens just showed you, which is in our Buy Me a Coffee, you can customize it to your colors, and it will look so different.
Yeah,
It looks so different.
absolutely. And also too, like let's say, oh, I wanted this to be a little bit longer. If you have enough text in there, you can do something like this without it having to scale,
Yes.
right? Or just shrink out of the way, right? So look at that. You can do something like that. And if you don't like it, I believe if we do Command Z, it goes back to normal.
Yeah. I actually like it a little bit longer. You can leave
I
it.
do like it a little
Yeah,
bit.
let's do that, yeah.
Like this, right? Something like this will work just fine. And usually you should have like there should be a snap, but it's not snapping, but that looks pretty good right there. I don't know. Maybe, you know what? So this is something good to know. So let's try to unlink the overlays and see if the snap feature comes back. Yes. All right. So that's what happened. We're not getting that snap. Now we're getting a solid snap. If we have it linked together, we don't have that snap feature. That's good to know. Learn something new every single day inside of Ecamm. Something new every day. Awesome.
Yeah. So
All right.
for those of you who did not know, because we had a poll here, and it said that 51% of you do not create
do not create.
overlays inside of Ecamm, and 48% of you do.
Makes sense. 50-50.
Yes,
50-50.
50-50.
And that's
Well,
20,
that's a good-
27 votes.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That's
Yeah.
really, really good.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are now learning a little bit, or maybe you're going to give it a try,
Right.
what do you think about it? Let us know. And for those of you who design inside of Ecamm, what kind of things would you like to see add on to it to make it easier to design?
Right. Which is a perfect segue to Spatcha's question. Right now, no, you cannot. And that is a popular feature request
Yes.
right now. So that'll be awesome. And if you're when you say titles, you're referring to these text overlays, like the ones that we creating, or even like the wingdings and emojis.
Maybe
It would
titles.
be-
Titles will be
or
amazing.
any text overlay or
Yeah.
any emoji or any wingding. That would be awesome to have that feature to be able to like rotate it. But it's in the request list.
It's
for
definitely
sure.
on the request,
Yeah.
but something that you can do though, you could have vertical text.
Yeah.
Right? And here, so by stretching the box, and you can also have vertical lines, which is something that we cover as well. So we can go.
Let me show you real quick how to create like a tower, for example, right? So let's say you wanted a vertical rectangle, and it's up to you to type however you want to. But let's say we can do vertical, right? V, shift return E, shift return R, shift return T.
Let's bring the opacity on so that they can see it.
That's why I'm narrating.
No. Let's just we gotta see this. All right, Fuljens Henry, why? Here we go.
Right? So if you notice, basically, and it could be whatever you want. Vertical.
There you go.
Right? Vertical, right? So so this is how you can manipulate it and create a tower, for example, right? And then same thing, you bring the opacity down, and there you have it, right? So now you have, and look, it just took a few seconds, right? Because I know some people, like, they're not designing because they don't have like these features. And I see like how it's easy to just bring a vertical rectangle
Right.
into Ecamm and call it a day. But the beauty of doing simple things like this, if you don't want to get too fancy schmancy with your designs and you want to create like simple, even if you look at the news or lower third that we're using in Ecamm, there's some depth, there's some features going
Yeah.
into that, and that's all text overlays. And what we love about that is that we can just go into the overlays panel and change the color or swap something out if we don't want to, and it's
Yeah.
right there. We don't have to leave the software and go to a Canva or go to a Keynote and then save it and bring it back in, and so
Right.
it just eliminates that, and it kind of like eases the workflow, especially if you know that your overlay or lower third can be designed inside of Ecamm the way you envision it to be. But if it's not, then it's understandable that you're gonna leave and go to a Canva or go to a Keynote or go
Right.
to whatever it is that you're gonna use.
And another reason why, for me personally, I really enjoy designing inside of Ecamm is because we have done productions where the titles and the colors have been like at the last minute, oh guys, can you just change this, we have somebody else, and can you match their colors and things like that. And we're like, oh yes, of course it's a little bit of but it's okay because we can just change it inside of Ecamm. We don't have to go back to change the color and adjust the edges, none of that. We just have to change the text. And because it's organized in folders, which is why we're mentioned how important it is to organize with folders, we can just go back in there, lower third, text, and just fix it.
Absolutely.
So those are one of the things. Yeah. Okay, so where are we? Oh, vertical lines. Okay.
All right, and another element here, whatever you want to do, right? Because like it's, if you want to add some, like the black is probably not the good color for that, but you get the idea, right? Of using the vertical line.
You can even do yellow, but a different shade of yellow if you wanted to. But in terms of text, we could do this. So to your point, Spatia, we cannot right now rotate text or titles, but you could have it vertically. That's something, right?
Right.
Like you can.
And then also too, Johnny is asking, do you have to be in the beta to use the overlay you guys giving away? No, it's been tested in native and it works just fine.
Yes. Yeah. Paul tested it. Fuljens tested it, and I tested it. I'm going to say this. It works 98% of the time. I'm going to say this because sometimes it moves.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes it moves. But for Paul, it worked perfectly, and he's in 3.9. And then for you, it worked, but then it didn't.
Yeah. So for me, when the feature first came out, I did the nerd emoji and I put it like in the bottom of the screen, like I pushed it past the bottom of the screen. But then when I went into the native Ecamm, the emoji popped back up, if you will, right? So it didn't work. But so far, we haven't had anyone contact us regarding this this overlay, and they're using it native and it works fine, right? And this we've had several downloads so far, so knock on wood.
Yes, Michael. Yes, Michael. Exactly, right? Customers, they don't do that. Everything is just fine, and they don't change anything at the last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be prepared for that, right? Inside of Ecamm, you can change it very nicely without freaking out too much.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so now you know here that you can do this. So let us know if you try any of this, if you are trying any of this right now with us as we go along. And let us know how you liking it, how you like designing inside of Ecamm. Okay, so are we going to change this color or?
Yeah, give me some color so we can change this.
So let's try a different shade of yellow.
For this for this tower?
Or we can even add it would be cool to have a name or something there.
I mean, yeah, but now this is where, rotating text will come in handy,
And
right?
we will go, and we are covering the basics of this because there's a stream coming right after us.
Social media news live.
Yes, there's a
immediately following Building Blocks.
right after us. So we have to end. I feel like we're rushing a little bit, but we're covering good stuff.
Yeah, no, this
That's like lemon.
yeah, it's very lemony. So
Get the same yellow that you had and then lower the opacity a little bit, or just play with a color wheel.
True. So
Yeah.
it's this one, and then if we go into the color wheel here, what are we doing?
There we go. So then either
Darkening
move, either darken it or making it lighter, or you can go to here and just move it. Like
Where? Because like now we're going to go into like neon territory. Like maybe if we just
allow me to demonstrate.
Allow me to
demonstrate.
Do you think so? I will not be held responsible.
Look
for
at this, right? So look at what I'm
the
doing. So
color
I'm just
changes
moving
over
this,
here.
and then you can go like this, down
pale.
or up. Yeah, that. Or you can go a little bit more on the yellow neon side. So let's see. There. Let's see.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not saying anything.
I'm not saying anything. I mean, it's almost
Okay, look
almost the same
it. So
thing.
it's there you go. So it's just a different shade of yellow. And let's see what happens if we bring this, because we have the text there. So I don't know. Is it flush? Okay,
the towers may not be as easy manipulated as like let's see, because if see what happened there. I mean, you can stretch it this way, right? But let's see if we try to scale it back, if it does anything funny, right? So now we lost the shape. We can't like go back because I think it was a little bit skinnier before.
So do undo.
Let's try to see what undo does. Command Z. Okay,
There we go.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Command
undo
Z,
is what's
Command
up.
Z is your friend. Command Z is your friend.
Undo. All right, so there it is. So we just add some text right now, and then we can add text to the top and copy the.
Right.
And this is great for presentations. Also, for
Yeah.
example, if you're trying to do something.
Right. So best practice is to create a separate folder for your text, right? So lower third body, and you can have lower third text. Okay.
That's a great question, Paul. We'll get to it. Yes.
All right. Awesome. Paul asked, do you think it would be useful if we could build these kinds of designs in the show and background section? Oh my God, can you imagine how
Right?
great? That is
Yeah.
an amazing feature request.
Yes, Paul.
That is a great feature request.
So yeah, select it for those times you want the same background design in multiple scenes. Yes, that's
Yeah.
Paul.
So for those of you who don't know what Paul's referring to, right? Let's say we were to take this design here and bring it to show in background. It does not allow you to bring in show in background. You can bring overlays, PNGs. You can do animate like motion graphics. You can have that shown in the background, but text overlays that are native to Ecamm cannot show in background. And it would be so awesome if we could do that.
For sure, Paul. Listen, Paul.
That is a
Write
great
it in
feature.
the beta group, Paul.
That is a great feature request, Paul.
Yes.
Please do add that in the beta group. And if those of you who are not a part of the Ecamm Live beta Facebook group, Mr. Moderator, please drop that link so I don't mess it up verbally. All right, lower third text, right? So Command N, and we're going to add some text here, building blocks. And if you're wondering why that, it always basically defaults back to the last setting, right? So we have to basically go restore default style and remove the background, and we're back in business, right? So now if we come back into the overlay panel, we'll have our opacity set to 100 again. Thank you, Paul. Ecamm.com/beta to download the beta, and you'll also get the link to join the Facebook group.
Make it a little bit less aggressive.
Anna does not like big text inside of the text overlays folder.
As it's good. Titles are good, but it's just like sometimes it looks just too like aggressive. Okay, so then now let's copy the lorem and just put it there. Unless you just want to lorem yourself.
No, let's do it. So, I could have started, but this is just a cheat here. So if we go here and then add to broadcast and then go in here. And
this is another thing. Someone was asking if you could change the colors of your comments.
Yes.
And yes, you can. As
Yeah.
Fuljens just showed you could do anything here.
You could so basically just think of it as any overlay we've been manipulating, so you could change the colors and all that good stuff. Background, add a border as we did. And actually take the text. You could actually type over it and rename it and do whatever you want. But
Which is not cool.
We're copying and pasting.
Yeah.
Well, there's several people that's
Listen, no, that's not cool, people. Like, because you could take a comment.
I don't want to mention any names.
You can take a comment and type something else, and then their picture's there and all of that. That will not be a good thing to do.
Use it wisely. Use it wisely. You know when it's helpful. Of course, even more helpful if it was in preview mode to do that. But if a comment comes on and there's somebody very important that and you want to showcase something like that, and they had a typo, right? You can fix a typo for them, right? This way they don't look bad.
Well, I do think everyone is important, but
Yeah.
it's just I see your point.
Right.
So let's make it black, por favor.
Yeah, and also too, we're gonna scale this down a bit. Scale this down.
And this is where I was saying, if you know what you're going to add there, you could actually make this text box with the exact text that
Right.
you want to have it. And then because they're
Right.
going to be in two different folders, one is going to be in the body text, and the other one's going to be in shapes. You won't get confused, and you will know exactly what it is that
Right.
you would like to change if you do. So look at this. You can do this, and you can have, and you can now add elements to it. You can add a little triangle, say to the left, or you can add dots, or you can round the edges if you wanted to.
Yeah.
This yellow here, perhaps you guys who are all like awesome, amazing designers and color palette experts, let us know what color will oh my gosh, what's the word I'm trying to say? Would complement this.
These two colors. Yeah.
Let us know what color the left bar should be.
For me, it would be black, but it's going to hide, because you have a black shirt, that's a black microphone there. But I think black, since it's neutral, would work very well off to the side, right? Like let's say we didn't have so much black there, it would contrast very well, right? Yes, and Tatiana is asking about your lowercase spelling of your name.
Yes,
it is very
Tatiana.
intentional.
It is very intentional.
Yes. And Michelle.
Michelle. All right,
to
so
see you here.
all right, everyone, give us a color.
We have a countdown though. We have it's 10:51.
Right, because we have a
Eastern Standard
countdown because we have
And then
another
we have
show.
a few minutes before Social Media News Live starts. Live from Podcast Movement.
Is the law. Okay, so what color would it be? So black, as you said, disappeared.
Paul Dixon, maybe a darker version of the red brown.
Okay, let's do
try
that.
Let's try that. So we're going to go here, and we're going to go to the color wheel, and let's darken that a little bit. Yeah, that might work, because like it's kind of like yeah. That's good. I like
Okay,
that. That looks
okay.
good. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. And yeah, you can jazz it up even more. You can add dots to it. You can even add a yellow behind it, right? You can do that as well.
Yeah. Choose the opposite color on the color wheel for that color. Thank you, Michelle. That'll be the complementary color. Anna spells her name as either a lowercase A-N-A or capital A-N-A. Never capital A, lowercase N-A. Yes.
I love it. And this is the thing, like true story, real quick. A customer was searching for me, and there were a lot of Anna Gills out there. But then they go, I knew the one it was because it had lowercase. So I knew that was you, and that's how I was able to contact you. And I was like, yes, okay. Yes.
Right. So now we have our text inside of the lower third text body.
And now
Easy
let's
for
get
you to
out of live
find.
demo mode so we can appreciate this amazingness.
And we're out of light demo mode, and lower third body, we have 3 overlays in there. We have the vertical, or off to the left, and then we have the 2 overlays, one for the building blocks, and then another overlay for the lorem ipsum, right? So if we hide that, that's what happens.
Lorem
Okay.
ipsum.
Lorem
And then
ipsum.
you can move it, as we mentioned earlier. We can move it because if they are in a folder, you can actually add the folder inside the folder and move everything together.
Right.
Move it to the other side or however side, wherever you would like to move it. And this
Right.
applies to any design, any overlay that you do design inside of Ecamm.
Right.
Yes.
Just make sure that when you link them, just make sure that the text overlays themselves are unlocked inside of the folder to move them around.
I kind of like the border that it gives around BuildingBlocks. It's like the white border, but that's for another. That's for another
Yes,
thing. Okay,
yes.
so we have
All
a couple of
right.
minutes to go, everyone. Please let us know of any questions. If you have any questions, we have to end exactly at.
No, before, give people
yeah,
some
before-
time to grab.
I'm saying we have
get
to-
a break, and because it's gonna be back to back.
Oh my gosh, Paul, listen.
That is another
Feature
We'll
request.
wait for the comment to come here. But
Yeah.
yes, that is another feature request, a very hot ticket item feature request.
And they have been working on it. Actually, they have been working on it, but this would be amazing. That rotating text and rotating overlays.
Yes,
Oh my gosh.
right.
And being able to manipulate the windings however we will like them to.
Right. So
Even
okay,
though
let's
they're trying to
summarize.
get shapes in, like
Yes.
true shapes.
Yes.
They're
That
working
will,
on
that will
that.
basically defeat everything.
For sure.
But shapes, ability to manipulate the wingdings so it can move them anywhere on the screen, ability to rotate text, ability to have the text overlays show in background. So that's 4. Is there a 5th one that we're missing? and an ability to scale everything at once.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
see all
like,
together.
that's there. Aw,
right.
Spacha, thank you so
Spatia.
much. Thank
Guy,
you.
what's going on, Guy? Good morning. Good to see you.
Okay,
Good to see you here.
hello.
Yes. So those are all great for feature requests.
Great feature request.
And again, Mr. Moderator, share the link if you're not part of the Ecamm Live Beta Facebook group. Join right here and send those feature requests away so they don't hear it all from us.
Yeah, right. And then one more thing. Remember that we have a group, Anna and Fuljens, where you can go and practice.
Yes.
It's a very quiet group, intimate, where you can just go and we will go in there. If you have any questions, we check in and we answer your questions. So go in there. It's Facebook. And you can just go practice. You can still practice interview mode. This is the last week. But even though, you can still go. So, yeah, that is that. Aw, thank you so much.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
the super chat. Merci en pile. And then Michael Hill question. Currently on my Windows machine, can we animate a folder? And yes, you can assign flying from the left, flying from the right, flying from the top, flying from the bottom, and scrolling ticker to any of these text overlays that we've added here on this screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anime away.
And yes, 5 great feature requests I'm really referring to. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Coach Frenchie.
Coach French, what?
Oh my gosh. Oh my God, let me hear it coming.
Coach
I love
Frenchie.
it.
Have not seen you since Vlogmas. Wow. It is so good to see you here.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
And
we
yes,
love
once
it.
again, Guy, thank you so much. That is it, everybody. We are wrapping up.
Yes.
Stay tuned for social media news live from Podcast Movement.
That's right. And my name is Anna Hill.
And I'm Fuljens Henry.
And you're watching Building Blocks. Thank you so much, everyone, for spending time with us.
Enjoy the rest of your Friday, everyone.
Bye. Thank you,
Peace.
Paul.
Thank you.